Hello, this is your disability attorney, Daniel Gregory. We've got your disability hearing coming up here within a few weeks or a few months. And I'm recording this video today to try to give you some tips on how to testify and what to expect at the judge hearing. One of the most important things I can tell you right now is to please watch this video with a friend or family member, whoever is closest to you, whether that be a husband or wife, a son or a daughter, a mom or a dad, a brother or a sister. Watch this video with somebody so that they can help you by doing a mock hearing with you, just like Elisa and I are about to do here in a few minutes. So please, pretty please, you must practice your testimony before we even have our meeting. The reason why I need you to practice is because at the hearing, you are the one who has to answer all of the questions from the judge. I cannot pause the hearing and help you with your answers. I cannot ask the judge for a timeout so I can help you fix an answer. All I can do is sit quietly while the judge is questioning you. I cannot interrupt the proceedings in any way. You have to answer these questions, not me. So therefore, you have to practice so that you are good at giving testimony to the judge and explaining how your medical problems interfere with all of your activities during your daily life. Now, the single most difficult part of the hearing is the fact that the judge does not prompt you to discuss your difficulties. And here's what I mean by that. The judge will never say to you, Mrs. Jackson or Mr. Smith or Mrs. Martinez, can you please explain to me how your knee pain interferes with your ability to do house chores? The judge will never phrase the question in that way. Instead, the way the judge phrases the questions is, Mr. Jackson, do you do any house chores, sir? Mr. Jackson, do you do laundry? Mr. Jackson, do you drive, sir? Mr. Jackson, do you go grocery shopping? Now notice how each one of those questions sound. They are never prompted to make you list your difficulties and limitations. That's not how the questions get asked by the judge. Instead, the judge just asks a very open-ended question and then lets you give whatever answer you want to give. For you to win this case, though, the whole goal is for you to persuade the judge that your medical problems interfere with each and every one of these activities. The judge is already, by the time we get to the hearing, the judge will have already read all of your medical records and will have very intimate knowledge about any hospitalizations or medical procedures or surgeries, what medications you've been on. The judge will have a very thorough medical history to review. But merely having medical problems does not mean you're disabled. The reason you have to show up and testify to the judge is because you have to explain how the medical problems that the judge can read about in your medical records, how do they affect you in your daily life? Because if you give testimony and do not explain how your medical problems affect you in your daily life, then you may have medical problems, but they do not disable you. So for you to give good testimony that persuades the judge to find you disabled, you have to give testimony to explain you have whatever your medical problem is, whether it be cancer or depression or knee surgeries or ankle surgeries or an amputated leg or anxiety or PTSD or depression or whatever it may be. Whatever your medical problem is, you have to describe how that medical problem interferes with you when you try to clean house, when you try to do the laundry, when you try to drive, when you try to go grocery shopping, when you try to cook. You've got to give explanation. You cannot just give simple yes or no answers to questions. Now, one other big important tip is to not exaggerate. You cannot make your problems seem worse than what they are. What I mean by that is, let's say you've had both knees replaced and you have a hard time walking, but you might be able to still walk to the kitchen sink to put away your coffee cup after you've had coffee in the morning. If the judge asks you if you can do house chores, you cannot say, no, I can't do any house chores at all. I can't even carry a dirty Kleenex to the trash, or I can't even put my coffee cup in the sink. Because at that point, you have made yourself sound so bad that you sound beyond disabled. At that point, you nearly sound like you're in a coma or on life support or that you're on death's doorstep. And you cannot make it sound that bad because then the judge will not believe your testimony. So all in all, this is what good testimony sounds like. Good testimony sounds like where you describe that you can do maybe a little bit of each activity, but then 90% of your answer, you sit and focus on all the problems you have and all the difficulties you have and all the limitations you have. You can't go way overboard and go off the deep end and make it sound like you're completely brain dead and comatose, because then the judge will not believe your testimony. On the other hand, if the judge asks you, can you do house chores? And you say, well, sure, my wife works and I don't want her to have to come home to a dirty house. So I do a lot of the house chores and just try to keep the house clean so my wife doesn't have to come home to a dirty house. That's a terrible answer because you've not described any limitations from your medical problems. And if you have no limitations from your medical problems, then you're not disabled. So I've kind of given you an abstract example of what good answers sound like. We're now going to have Judge Elisa ask me some questions so you can hear. Now, I'm going to give some examples of good answers, and I'm going to give some examples of bad answers. Whenever I turn to look here at the camera, that's me explaining to you and analyzing for you why an answer is either good or bad. So that way you can hear the difference. Okay? Now, Judge Elisa, can you please ask me some questions? I've taken an oath to tell the truth. I'm testifying to you. You're my Social Security judge, and you're going to ask me some questions.
Okay. Mr. Gregory, how much do you help out around the house with house chores?
Oh, Your Honor, I'm so depressed I can't do anything around the house at all. I'm so depressed I just lay in bed all day and I don't do anything. I can't even like throw away any trash, or I lay in bed and cry all day and I don't do anything at all. I mean, my house is just disgusting and filthy and I can't do anything. Time out. That is a terrible answer. I have made myself sound like I'm ready to be moved into a state mental hospital and kept there permanently for the rest of my life. Your medical records do not sound that bad, I can assure you. That answer went too far. That answer exaggerated my limitations. That is a bad answer. So let me give another bad answer, but in the opposite direction so you can hear what that sounds like. Okay, Judge, can you ask me the same question?
Mr. Gregory, how much do you help out around the house with chores?
Well, Your Honor, my wife is the only one working right now. And so, my back hurts a little bit after my back surgeries, but I still get up and I don't want my wife to have to work all day and then come home and clean. So I sweep and I mop and I vacuum. I take out the trash. I make up the beds. It kind of hurts a little bit if I scrub the showers or toilets, but I can do it. And it's, like I said, my wife's already having to carry my health insurance and pay for all of our bills, and I just don't want her to have to come home and do it all, so I try to do as much as I can. Again, terrible, terrible answer. Apparently, I ought to be working full-time somewhere as some type of house cleaner, because I just told the judge under oath in my testimony that I can clean the house with very, very little problems. I haven't described hardly any problems at all. That is a very bad answer, and it will make the judge think that while I may have had a few back surgeries and I may have some back pain, I can still largely take care of a house with very few, if any, limitations. That is a bad answer. I did not describe enough limitations. Now, so that you hear what a good answer sounds like, let me give you a quick preview. This time when Judge Elisa asks me these questions, I'm going to say I can do a little bit, but you're going to hear the vast majority of my answer focusing on all of the problems that I have and all the things that I cannot do. Are you ready? Here we go. Judge Elisa, can you ask me the same question one more time?
Okay. Mr. Gregory, how much do you help out around the house with house chores?
Your Honor, it depends on how bad of a day I'm having. My back spasms are really, really bad after my back surgery, and the pain shoots down my leg, and it feels like lightning going down my leg, and it hurts really, really bad. If I do anything around the house, it's very, very short, and it's very, very small. I feel really guilty about it because my wife does have to come home and do most of the house chores even after working all day, but I can't stand up long enough to vacuum a room. I can't stand up long enough to sweep or mop a room. If I carry out a trash bag, it's a real small one, like from the toilet, from the where the bathroom is at, because that little trash can just has, maybe a few some dental floss and some little toilet paper, the centers of the toilet paper, the cardboard roll. I can't lift up a heavy trash bag and carry it out to the trash. I'm not steady enough on my feet to carry it out. And and also with my depression, it is suffocating at times where I just cannot make myself get out of the bed. And it makes I feel so overwhelmed. Just a simple task like going and picking up after myself just seems overwhelming. And it's hard to even summon the motivation to get up and do something like that. And so it's not that I can't do anything at all. I'm just not very reliable at it, and I just can't stand up very long to do it for very long. Do you see how that answer sounded? Most of that answer, I was describing my limitations. Most of that answer, I was describing my problems. Most of that answer, I was telling you how much difficulty I had with things. That is how you give a good answer. Now notice I didn't go off the deep end. I never said I couldn't do anything at all. I said I could do a little bit. I could maybe carry out a small trash bag from the bathroom. And maybe I could very minimally pick up after myself. But I also described in detail how much my back pain interferes with me being able to do house chores and how much my depression interfered with my ability to do chores. That is how you give a good answer. Notice, though, Judge Lisa, can you read that question one more time?
Mr. Gregory, how much do you help out around the house with house chores?
Notice her question did not ask me to list my limitations. Her question did not ask me to list my problems. Her question did not ask me to sit and describe how much difficulty I have. The judge's questions will not ever, ever prompt you to list your difficulties or your limitations or your problems. Notice that when the judge asked me that question, I just started describing it even though the judge didn't ask me to do it. That is how you testify well to the judge. Now realize, at the hearing, the judge will have a chance to question you. I will also have a chance to question you. It's not that I can't help you fix up or polish up or maybe fix a few errors on a few of your answers. And it's okay if you mess up a few answers, and because I can help come along after the judge's questioning and help you fix them. Maybe ask you to clarify what you meant by something. But by and large, the vast majority of your answers, you must be focusing on your limitations and your problems. You cannot just answer the question the way I did one of the first bad answers where I said all I do is do a bunch of house chores and keep the house clean. That will make the judge think you're not disabled. You also can't make it sound like you can't do anything, because then the judge will think that you're exaggerating. You have to kind of be in the middle. You have to be able to at least do a little bit, but you can't make it sound like you can do everything. Now, I want to run through a few examples of what different problems would sound like. We'll run through all 5 of these questions that Judge Elise is going to ask me. And this first time, I'm just going to focus on what things would be like if I had neck and shoulder problems, so you can hear some of the limitations that I would say I have if I have neck and shoulder problems. Then we'll run back through it again, maybe if I have low back problems or knee problems, and then we'll run back through the same questions again, this time just focusing on if I have depression or anxiety or PTSD. So that way you can hear what some answers sound like depending on the distinct and unique nature of your own disabilities. I just want you to be able to hear what good testimony sounds like, okay? So Judge Elisa, remember, first I'm going to focus on describing my problems because I've had neck and shoulder problems. So you're going to hear me give testimony that explains those limitations. Go ahead, Judge.
Mr. Gregory, how much do you help out around the house with house chores?
Your Honor, it really depends on how bad my neck and shoulders are hurting. It really hurts to do much of anything around the house that involves using my arms and hands, because the more I move them, the more it hurts my neck and my shoulders, and the more the muscle spasms set in. If I just need to do something simple like carry a water glass to the sink, I can do that. Or if it's just something real small, like if I've spilled some coffee, I can get a dish rag and wipe that off. But I cannot sweep. It hurts my neck and shoulders too bad to do that back and forth motion. It really makes my neck and shoulders hurt really bad. It feels like someone's almost stabbing me in the neck with an ice pick. Same thing with mopping or vacuuming. Again, it's that back and forth motion and moving my neck and shoulders that really makes it hurt. I also have a hard time just standing at the sink to wash dishes because when you do that, you have to look down, and merely pulling my neck towards my chest like that to look down, it hurts my neck really bad. Like the muscle spasms will set in real bad in my neck like that. I also can't lift up and carry like a heavy trash bag because it hurts my neck and shoulders when I just try to pull up like that and try to hold it. It hurts my neck really bad and will send my neck into really bad spasms. So if the trash bag is real light, like from the bathroom, I can get that. But if it's anything very heavy, I just can't do it. It hurts too bad.
Okay. Do you do any laundry?
Your Honor, I can do a very little bit, but it's just not very much. Trying to reach down and sort laundry and pull laundry out like that motion really hurts my neck and my shoulders real bad. It's even when the wet clothes are done washing in the washer, it's not that I can't pull them out, but I just got to do it real slow. Many years ago, before my neck and shoulders were so bad, I could reach down in a wash bin in a laundry or in a washer and pull like just handfuls of clothes at a time up out of the washer. I can't do that anymore. It hurts too bad. When I do things now, it's like I've got to very slowly and gingerly brace myself against the washer and just pull kind of one or two items out at a time. If it's wash rags, I can probably get a few of them, but if it's jeans or towels or something like that that's kind of heavy, I can't pull stuff out like that. It hurts my neck and my shoulders too bad. And trying to bend down and reach in and move the clothes from the washer into the dryer, that also hurts. So and I can't carry a heavy laundry basket. My wife has got to do that. My wife has got to carry the laundry to the laundry room because I can't carry a heavy laundry basket because it hurts my neck and my shoulders too bad. And, it's even just sitting down trying to fold laundry. The more I move my arms and shoulders, the more they hurt. So if I have like a bunch of socks that I have right beside me and I don't have to reach my arms out away from my body, I can sit here and get socks and pair them together for me to go put away. But if I'm really having to reach out a lot and shake out towels or do anything like that, it hurts my neck and shoulders too bad. So I help very minimally, but my wife does most of the laundry.
Okay. Do you drive?
Oh, Judge, it's not that I don't drive, it's that it's got to be a good enough day where I'm able to drive. When I take all the pain medicine I take, it's not a good idea for me to take pain medicine and muscle relaxers and then try to drive because I know I could be in trouble for that. So if I'm hurting bad enough where I really need to take like a lot of muscle relaxers or pain pills, I don't drive. And it's also just real hard, just all the things like trying to reach behind me to put the seatbelt on. A lot of times my wife, if she can take a day off or an afternoon off from work to take me somewhere, she'll drive if she can. And she even helps me. She gets the seatbelt and pulls it around me because trying to reach up and over and behind me like that to pull the seatbelt around me, I can't do that. It hurts my shoulder too bad. And with driving, I can't check my blind spot because I only have motion in my neck to I can't look straight sideways because of my neck surgery. I can't turn my head all the way around because it stops about right there. I can't turn all the way back the way I could before my neck surgery. So it's not that I can't drive. I'm not a very safe driver. It's the more I drive, the more it hurts. And even just holding the steering wheel and turning the steering wheel, it starts to hurt my shoulders real bad. So it's not that I can't drive. It's that I really strongly prefer not to do it. I mean, if I drive somewhere, it's usually just somewhere real close by. I don't drive very far.
Okay. Do you go grocery shopping?
Not very often. Even before the coronavirus and stuff, I didn't go very much. Now my wife just pretty much does the grocery pickup, where she just pulls in there and they come and put the groceries in her car for her, so that way we don't have to go in the store. But even before coronavirus, I really couldn't do very much around the store. Trying to push a buggy, and when you're trying to turn the buggy and you gotta pull here and push there so that way you can turn, that motion like that really just sends muscle spasms and sharp stabbing pain into my neck and my shoulders, and it just hurts. And trying to pick up anything at the store, when I pick up just a gallon of milk, that hurts. It hurts really bad. I feel a sharp stabbing pain and the electric bolts, the lightning bolts of electricity shooting down my arms when I try to pick up. If I was to pick up a box of cereal, something small like that, it doesn't bother me. But if it's anything more than just, I don't know, Judge, I don't try to test it, but I do know that trying to get a full gallon of milk out of the refrigerator, if my wife's home, and she can pour milk in my cereal for me, I'll ask her to do it. If the milk gallon's pretty empty, I can do it, but it hurts. And trying to reach up on shelves and get stuff off and trying to carry stuff in the grocery store. And even when we get home from the grocery store, I can't really carry grocery items in. So, I mean, every now and then I do get tired of being at the house, Judge. And I'm just, because I've never been at home this much in my life. But, so sometimes I'll go with my wife to the store and I'll just sit down in the car and lean my seat back and listen to music. You know, if it's a nice day, and crack my window and just to get out of the house. You know, but if I'm hurting real bad and it's hurting just to walk around and move around, I won't go inside the store. But I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not that I can't go, it's that I'm not much use in there.
Okay. What kind of social activities do you have?
I don't want to sound like I'm antisocial because I do like people. I just don't want to be around them. When you hurt like this all the time, you just don't want to be around people. It puts you in a really foul mood. And it's really made me irritable. I cannot believe how snappy and angry and short-fused I am with my wife and my kids now. Because when you hurt all the time, it just makes you, I feel like I'm irritated all the time. And I just don't have much patience to be around people. And you know, and people see me walking around real stiff and not being able to move around very good, and they ask me how I'm feeling, and it's like, what do you think? I feel good if I'm moving that way? And I start to think that in my head, but I know I shouldn't say it with my mouth because it sounds rude. So I mean, my wife and I don't really go to church anymore. I mean, I just watch it online. I feel bad. My wife still goes, and you know, she'll tell me people at church ask me how I'm doing, but and there's a lot of times like I would still try to go at least a little bit after my neck and shoulder surgeries, but sometimes like the muscle spasms would be so bad and I would get so agitated that like anxiety would build up in me, and I'd have to tell my wife, we've got to go. I need to go home now, because I needed to go home and take pain pills and lay on the heating pad and see if I could go to sleep because the pain was so intense. So it's not that, I mean, even when the grandkids come over to my house, like I can tolerate being around them for a little bit, but I just don't want to be around them for much longer just because my pain has made me I just don't have any patience for people anymore. Do you see how I was giving those answers? Each and every one of those questions, I never said I could not do any house chores. I didn't say that. I never said I couldn't do any laundry. I never said I couldn't drive. I never said I couldn't go grocery shopping, and I never said I didn't socialize at all. I said I could do a little bit. But notice how the vast majority of my answers, I sat and focused on what I could not do and all my problems. Even though, did you notice, Judge Lisa did not ask me to describe all my problems. I just did it anyways, because I am trying to convince you, the judge, that I am disabled because of my neck and shoulder problems. That is what good testimony sounds like. Now, we won't necessarily go through several more, but I want to talk about what these answers would sound like if I have bad mental problems like depression or anxiety or PTSD. So once again, Judge Lisa's going to ask me the same questions. This time, I don't have neck and shoulder problems. Now I'm suffering from anxiety, and PTSD and depression. Go ahead, Judge.
Mr. Gregory, how much do you help out around the house with house chores?
Your Honor, almost none. I mean, I just don't feel like doing anything. Like every day, all I can do is sit and wish I was dead. And all I do is live every breath I take. I'm just emotionally in misery. I don't feel like doing anything. I feel so sorry for myself, it's hard to breathe. It's almost like a feeling like an elephant is sitting on my chest. And it's not that I can't breathe, it's like this awful, terrible feeling that something bad is going to happen. And I'm just, the anxiety and the depression alternating back and forth is so bad that I don't even care how dirty things are. I haven't washed my bed sheets in more than 6 months. I'm not going to lie to you, Judge. I live in filth. It is filthy. There's mold growing in my toilet. There's mold all in the shower floor, in the tub. I haven't taken out the trash in over a month. I just keep trying to push it down and then it falls out. And I don't want to take any trash out because I can't make myself hardly get up and do anything. Now, I mean, I at least sometimes go put my water glass in the sink, but it's good luck if I ever put it away. I am just overwhelmed. And I'm not physically crippled, but I feel at times like I'm mentally crippled because of how bad my depression is. And I lay in the bed and I cry for so much of the day, and I feel so hopeless and so worthless that trying to clean the house is not even anything that I'm concerned about.
Do you do any laundry?
Your Honor, my wife will start the laundry, and sometimes she'll ask me to just, move it to the dryer when it's done washing. And I'm not going to say I never do it, but I might do it 1 out of every 10 times that she asks me. I mean, so much of the day I lay in my bed crying or sleeping, just, like I said, wishing I was dead. Thinking about what a terrible burden I am to my wife and how she'd be better off without me. I don't see any reason for me to be here. I don't see any reason for me to do anything. And it's not that I don't want to help my wife. I know she'll start the laundry and she just asks me to help out and finish. And it's not that I never do it. Like I said, sometimes I will get up and move it. And sometimes I might, if it just sits right there beside me and encourages me and helps me and says, we're just going to do this, just put one foot in front of another, I might put away some of my laundry. But if she just says, Daniel, I've washed the towels and folded them and dried them and folded them, all I need you to do is just put them away. Like, eventually after they sit there on the dresser for 4 or 5 days and I still haven't put them away, she'll just do it. And she gets upset with me and she says, Daniel, all I asked you to do is put these towels away. And I know they're there, and it's not that I don't want to make my wife happy. I love her. But I cannot make myself get up. It's like someone has came and stolen all the motivation I have in my life to get anything done. It's not 100% gone, but it's gone 97%. I just don't have much motivation to do anything.
Do you drive?
Judge, I strongly prefer not to leave the house. I just don't want to see anybody. And if I drive, it's probably going to be to go somewhere, to go to the doctor or the pharmacist or the grocery store or something. And I don't want to go anywhere, and I don't want to be around anybody, and I don't want anybody to talk to me, and I just don't want to see people, and I don't want them to see me. I mean, I just don't feel like doing anything. I will go to doctor visits when my wife takes me, or my son will come over and take me. And it's not that I can't drive at all. I mean, I can if I need to, if it's an absolute emergency and I'm having a pretty good day, and if something has to be done, like if my wife needs something from the bank or just whatever it may be, I can go do something like that. But I can't just, whenever I feel like it, get in the car and go get a cup of coffee from somewhere, or go to the bank and deposit a check, or go to the grocery store and pay a bill, or do something like that. I don't know how to put it into words, Judge, but it's like, it feels like almost 100% of my motivation to even stay alive and do anything all day is completely and totally gone. And the fact of going out in public and being around people makes my anxiety shoot so sky high that I can't make myself do it unless my wife or my son goes with me.
Okay. Do you go grocery shopping?
Judge, there's sometimes my wife, she thinks that I'm becoming such a hermit that I don't want to go anywhere and don't want to do anything, and I don't want to go anywhere, and she'll make me go to the grocery store with her. But a lot of the times I'll tell her, honey, I'll go to the grocery store with you, but I don't want to go in. because I don't want people to look at me and I don't want people to talk to me. I just don't even want to be seen. I just wish I was invisible. What I really wish is I could just die, because there's really no reason for me to be here. And, you know, it's, I have gone in the grocery store a few times with my wife over the last few years. But it's got to be late at night if I know that nobody's there. Because that's usually when I'm awake anyways. I sleep so much during the day that I'm usually awake at night, and if my wife really needs something that's an emergency, she can drive me and we can go together. And if I'm having a pretty good moment right then, I can go inside the grocery store with her, but I don't want to be in there for long. And I certainly don't want to see anybody or talk to anybody. So it's not that I can't go at all. It's just, my wife doesn't even ask me to go grocery shopping. She hasn't for years. I mean, as far as just saying, hey, Daniel, you go to the grocery store and get these groceries for me. She knows that I won't go. She'll only go if she makes me go. I will only go if she makes me go.
What kind of social activities do you have?
Just my grandkids. But I don't even want to, I want to see them. And it makes me happy for a brief moment to see them laughing and playing and smiling. But I'm just so depressed it makes me not want to do anything. It makes me, I can be around them for a little bit, but I can't be there for long. I just can't. I don't want to be around people. I don't want to see anybody, and I don't want anybody to see me. I can tolerate being around my grandkids for 15 minutes or so, but after they've been there, like if my kids drop off their kids at my house, for the evening so that my son and daughter-in-law can go on a date, I'll spend some time with the kids and then I just go back to the bedroom after a while because I just can't stand to be around them. And it's not that I don't love them. I can only fake putting on a smile for so long before I can't do it anymore. And I don't want my grandkids to sit there and see me cry and get panicked and be so depressed I can't even hardly get up and do anything. I don't want them to see me that way. So I'd much rather just be by myself and be back in the bedroom where they can't see me. Again, do you see how I did these answers? I never, ever, ever said I couldn't do anything. Each and every one of those questions, house chores, laundry, driving, grocery shopping, social activities, I said I could do a little bit. But the vast majority of my answer, I focused on what I could not do. That is the goal. That is the point. At the end of my testimony, Judge Elisa thinks, wow, this guy either has really bad neck and shoulder pain or really bad depression and anxiety because it's interfering with each and every area of my life. And she doesn't have to guess that it interferes because I explained it to her. That is how you testify and testify well. Now, one last reminder. Please, pretty please watch this video with a friend, a family member, a husband, a wife, a son, a daughter, a brother, or a sister, with somebody. So that way they can do the same thing that Elisa was just doing for me, playing judge, and I practice my answers. I need you to practice, even before we have our meeting. Because I've only done this a few thousand times. That's why I'm pretty good at it. Chances are this will be the first time you have ever testified in front of a judge. And I didn't get good at doing this because this is my first time. I got good at doing this because I've practiced many times, more than I can count. So therefore, for you to get kind of good at it, I need you to please practice. Please turn off the TV, turn off the radio, turn off the phones. By all means, watch this video with your spouse, your girlfriend, your son or daughter, your brother or sister, whoever it is, so that you understand what good testimony sounds like. But then I need you to turn all the electronics off and turn the TV off and practice. And please write down your answers so that you can get into the mindset of this. because I will tell you, for your hearing, you will have between probably 30 and 45 minutes to testify to the judge, and that is it. So it's not like we can sit there and have several hours of the judge's time for you to constantly fix every answer and repair every answer. The judge will not give us that much time. We have a very limited amount of time. So you need to be able to testify well. So please, again, watch this video with a friend or family member, practice, and then when you and I have our meeting so that we can go over things and prepare, that way you will already be pretty good and I can help you get even better for our meeting. So will you please call or text or email us if you have any questions. You can call or text us at 817-338-0608. You can also email us at danielgregorylaw@yahoo.com. That's DanielGregoryLaw@yahoo.com. I look forward to seeing you here in just a little bit so we can get prepared and ready for your judge hearing. Thank you.